Am I live? Aloha. Welcome to my channel, All Good Things and All Good Time, where it's always a good day to be alive. This is my unfortunate news channel because the news is so bad. Sorry, it's so bad. Called the God Awful News, the God Awful Truth News, breaking daily news show. So yeah, again, I'm sorry the news is so bad. It would almost be funny. If it just wasn't so bad. I've had most of this to say to you for a little while, but I just keep procrastinating because it's hard to get fired up to engage in all this bad. Anyway, let's talk about all the news. I love the beginning of Democracy Now! I think I'm gonna start repeating that, but democracy depends on a free press, right? Which is under attack. So, the mayor that got locked up in Newark, Mayor Baracus, he's going to run for governor. So interesting. Maybe they targeted him for that, knowing that that's his future. Cheers to you, black coffee drinkers and others. Everybody. I've got a beer on deck here. One beer. I'm gonna go to a live musical event later, and it is a beer fest as well. I got a really good deal on a admission price. I met this nice lady who was the lead singer of a band at the memorial I went to, and she told me about it and told me about the VIP tickets. So I figured I'll go cover it, make a video there, or possibly go live. And yeah, still 0 people. Oh, I know what I need to do. Here. Oh, hey, aloha, one person. I know what I need to do. Okay, sorry, pardon me. See if I watch myself. Maybe it'll stimulate it. All right. So, shoots, so much bad news, you guys. But we're gonna go through it quickly. I'll try to make it not too painful. Oh, gosh darn. There we go. Okay. All right, now I can see myself on TV while I'm talking to you. Every time I look over that way, I can see myself live. It's kind of funny. The valedictorian speaker at NYU is not going to get their diploma because they spoke up against genocide, right? How does that make any sense? Right? There is genocide, ethnic cleansing happening, and people who even mention it or want to protest against it are somehow the villains in this story. And that is weird. Like everything Republicans say and do. Oh, I love the hearts. Thank you so much. Aloha. What else? Let's see. 450 New Jersey transit engineers, in other words, all the people running the trains, they went on strike. So that really is interrupting travel in that region. And their quote was, they got money for their penthouse view, but not enough to pay us a fair wage. Anyway, I saw this one interesting story from a guy who was kind of an alternative news guy, and he was talking about how El Chapo's family brokered some kind of deal, and they've been let out of prison and brought into the United States. I don't know if there's any truth to that. It was a really interesting story to find. There's a group called Taxpayers Against Genocide, right? Which is a natural thing to spring up when that's going on. Of course, it's also happening in Ukraine. Putin just continues to rain down missiles no matter what. He doesn't want any kind of peace of any kind, but they filed a grievance, and in their grievance, they explain that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Everything that is in our Declaration of Independence is the opposite of what's happening when we bomb civilians. Last night, 150 people were killed, and that was just last night. Innocent women and children. It's gnarly. P. Diddy wants a pardon, just like Eric Adams got one, and Marjorie Taylor Greene wants Derek Chauvin to get a pardon, the guy who murdered George Floyd. Yeah, I listened to all the analysis from the first day or two of trial, and apparently noteworthy was all the stuff I think that corroborates a RICO case, basically, long story short. The planning, the organization, the people, the transit, but what was really weird, and I just don't understand. I want to devote your life to this stuff, but what was really weird was how she's like, seemed like that was our, something she was just always having to be part of. Like that was their whole life. Like what a weird whole life. All these weird parties with all that baby oil. Anyway, yeah, so that's just going to be really gross. There's just going to be a lot of grossness with that P. Diddy case. And more is going on right now today. They just finished. I think they cross-examined Cassie, who's 8.5 months pregnant. And boy, does she's the one that was beat up in that video everyone's seen. Cheers to you. And Nancy Grace went on and on about it. And in Nancy Grace's little headliner said something about a Tootsie Roll, and her thing was like almost an hour long. And I went through it, but I skipped around. I never did figure out what she meant by a Tootsie Roll. I can imagine some gross stuff, but I have no idea what she was talking about. But that's out there, whatever that meant. What's interesting locally, I didn't know this, but my friends were telling me recently that if you get a weed card in Hawaii, you give up your right to firearms, which is interesting. I didn't know that. I imagine, is it the same everywhere like that, where a weed card is available but not recreational? Anyway, and then what happens to you after it becomes recreationally legal? Do you regain your right to bear arms? Interesting. I don't know. Locally, they rounded up, and they're going after Filipino teachers. It's, oh God, that hurts everybody's feelings. If you know Filipino ladies, Filipino teachers, I mean, these are the best people in the world. And, and then we heard what I mentioned already, but now we're hearing it from people in Congress, right? This concern about impersonators, right? One congressperson showed that you could buy all the ICE stuff on Etsy. And I mean, what's to stop a bunch of racist hooligans from trying to round people up and then maybe do harm to them, let alone turn them into the authorities, if that's what any of them would even do, if that's what they were. But I mean, I don't see how there aren't people saying, oh, here's an opportunity for us. Maybe, any one of those organizations you guys know the names of are potentially very scary in a situation where you can just impersonate, get out of, ordinary vehicles, wear stuff, say that you don't have to show your ID, scoop someone up, put them in a car, and then drive away, and then the community says, oh, that's what's going on around here, so it doesn't look like someone was necessarily kidnapped. They don't know, and no one knows because there's no accountability in this whole world, and it's just very scary. Very, very scary. Just like that AI image. The AI image is an evil clown, grim reaper, uh, behind the podium in the White House briefing room. Anyway, of course, you've heard the news probably already about Christine Nome wants to have a game show where people have to prove themselves, beat each other at certain things in order to gain citizenship, which is just super inhumane, super gross, but makes sense because that's what Christy Nome is. We need a new Karen, and we need it to be Christy, right? Serial killer Glenn Rogers was just put to death, and it's funny because, well, it's not funny, sorry, but Trump just loves to see people executed. More people were executed under him than anybody, I don't know, in a long time or ever. He executed 13 people in his last administration. Before that, Bush executed 3. And so, and he is on a rampage already. They have a lot of people have already been executed. Another one just was, but this guy was, even though it's literally Trump that's killing him. He says, this serial killer, right before he gets executed, says, "Hey, Trump, keep making America great again." You know, because you know who's on the side of Trump is the serial killer that he's killing. Oh my God, what a freaking crazy, weird world we're living in right now. I tell you what. How about Kid Rock? His restaurant, I heard it just closed because all his workers are undocumented, right? He's out there supporting the sweep up of his own employees and the destruction of his own business. And so that's interesting. My goodness. And of course, first they were told to not come to work because ICE raids were coming. And then they just closed. But was he tipped off was the question of some. And then also interesting though, right? Because all these people are being prosecuted for helping immigrants not get swept up by brown shirts who are going to send them off to a death camp, right? Or now to Africa or El Salvador, God knows where, pretty soon Russia. I know Russia's going to be on the list soon. I know Putin will take our prisoners, right? Libya, Angola, oh God. Anyway, so yeah, interesting how Kid Rock, and that's the thing I've been talking about this whole time, is the reality that all the richest of the rich depend on the poorest of the poor for all their service and their needs met. And when they want to go be free and spend their money and enjoy this world all the way they want to do, there's always people working their ass off to support their good time, like all the people that work in the tourism industry here in Hawaii, right? These people are working so that other people can have a good time. And that's what all our undocumented workers are doing. Cleaning your rooms, mowing your lawns, picking your blueberries and strawberries for your Sunday brunch. I mean, these are the best, milking your cows. Like, we are attacking the people who support all the stuff that all of us need and want, but also the rich people, right? Oh my God, it is, but of course, yeah, they're business owners too. Some of these wealthy people are business owners. And, and the farmers and the ranchers and the dairy owners who voted for this, right? Like, often those were the demographic that Trump made an impression on. And they voted to just hurt themselves. And it's so sad to see. No one needed to have this happen. The news could be good every day, you know? If anybody else was president, the news would be, except for maybe J.D. Vance or Stephen Miller or anyone else in the Trump administration, or any of the senators in Congress that are Republicans, or any of the House of Representatives that are Republicans, they would all be also equally terrible at the job. But Trump is supremely bad and terrible. And what stupid was the Supreme Court to say, yeah, you can just do whatever you want. Oh my God, it's just crazy, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, serial killer says go Trump right before he gets murdered by Trump, and then Kid Rock avoids ICE by telling all his employees to stay home and closing his business temporarily. 20,000 troops have been called up because that's what we need. We already have 9,000 active combat troops on the border, which isn't right in the first place. They're not supposed to be on domestic soil doing shit. But now we got 20,000 called up. What, like, are they National Guard? I don't know. 20,000 more troops called up to go to the border, you know, to make sure that these people that want to work 60 hours a week milking cows are kept out. Anyway, interesting, isn't it? Yeah, there's this other story about the VA getting all corrupted, forcing people to sign non-disclosure agreements, and no protection for whistleblowers, and spyware being put on their phones and shit. Anyway, Supreme Court. Can you believe 2 of them are so sick that they voted to keep the 1898 Alien Enemies Act and continue this harm against the Constitution and human beings' lives? Just so much harm, death camps, starving people to death, spreading disease like mad. I mean, it's just, there's so many ways that they're doing and causing harm, taking people's livelihoods away. It is gnarly, but yeah, anyway, but 7-2, the Supreme Court said these people deserve some time. You know, give them 30 days. Tell them we're going to deport you, and give them 30 days to leave the country with their belongings and their bank accounts. And I mean, we're just literally stealing all their possessions and locking them up, and so that we can make money in these freaking for-profit detention centers that are all corrupt. It's all corrupt, and the inhumane treatment inside of these places, and the guys like that Schmidt guy that was sent to prison. His bunkmate, he was just an innocent guy coming back from Europe. 2 months in prison. He was putting in at prison. His bunkmate was a convicted murderer. I mean, this is crazy shit that's going on. Oh, and then of course Donald Trump. If you haven't seen some of the latest news, it's not here, but he's just infatuated with being a little princess and being the most popular girl at the prom. And he's like, do you see it ever since I said, like, he's so proud of it, ever since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she hasn't been hot anymore. Oh my God, what a weirdo. What a freaking weirdo. So that's just weird, and super weird. Yeah, it's just hysterical, and sad to be a Republican these days. There's just they serve no good purpose, never really have. If they ever had, they would have implemented smaller government at some point before now, and they're not doing that now. They're just firing everybody and still spending more money somehow and taking in less. They're just champions of fiscal irresponsibility. It is truly amazing. But then of course, oh man, and it is freaking makes you proud to be an American when you hear the man of born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA, Bruce. God bless that guy, man. He just talked truth to power, and oh boy, did that annoy Trump. And I think he looks pretty good, because he's one of those guys who obviously is never going to get plastic surgery. He hasn't had any, and his face looks great for a guy. You can tell because he's got some wrinkles. See, this means you haven't had plastic surgery or weird forehead injections as a man, like Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. God, that's weird. I think Adam Schiff maybe is guilty of it too. I don't see any lines in his forehead, but he wants to run for a lot of offices. So, you know, maybe there's a little vanity that goes along with that. Anyway, So yeah, he just attacks Bruce Springsteen, who just lays it out. That's something you want to see and watch a couple times because it'll make you proud to be an American. Listen to that man just speak truth to the fascist. Boy, it's yeah, it'll almost make you cry. So and then Pam Bondi. Of course, she's just terrible in 100 different ways. But of course, she didn't disclose again that she was on the take from Qatar, the country Trump is on the take from, right? Like she was working as one of their lobbyists. Like who does that? Who lobbies for a Middle Eastern like country? You know what I mean? And like, how could you ever have like good motivations in all that other than just taking somebody's money? Anyway, that's revealing. And then, of course, Trump is just such a moron, right? All he's ever said is, oh, there's all these deals. Oh, we're making all these deals. Got all these deals going. We got deals here. We got deals there. We got 90 deals going, whatever. And then, what did he just say? He says, oh, there are no deals. There's no deals. We haven't made any deals. We're just going to implement whatever we want, and then that's going to be the deal. And yeah, we're not going to talk to anybody. We're just going to impose whatever tariff we want, and that's just going to be that. And so that's interesting. And then big story is, I guess this is the AI of Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk has his own AI, and I guess it's named, I thought it was XI, but it is Grok AI, apparently. And when asked about why genocide or whatever it is, I think that's what the claim is, that the South Africans they're being persecuted, the 49 white people, and they've told everybody there that they can come here, but not that many have chosen to. It's just 49. But isn't that great optics, right? To be sweeping up people who are working 60 hours a week, milking your cows, picking your blueberries, right? Going to church on Sunday, taking care of their family here, there, anywhere they can, just givers, right? Hardest workers in the world are immigrants. And we're treating them like crap. And then we're welcoming in these Nazi white supremacists, presumably. Some of them have proven to have said things of that nature, super anti-Semitic things, right? This administration and this whole weird right-wing fakeness about caring about anti-Semitism and then using anti-Semitism as the excuse to take people's rights away. It's brutal. It's weak. It's obvious. Everybody sees it. Everyone knows what's going on. Like, unless they don't have an IQ above Republican, you know, because if you don't have an IQ above Republican, life can be a real struggle. So can critical thinking, remembering to do basic things in life. I don't know how they get by. Let's see. So yeah, Grok AI is like, no, there is no white genocide. And then Grok AI was somehow instructed by its masters, the algorithmic masters of its AI, somehow told it, no, this is what you got to say. And then it revealed that it had been told to change what it says because it doesn't know any better, or, you know, it kind of only knows to be somewhat honest, which is, I think, one of the interesting revealing aspects of this is the honesty, I guess, of Elon Musk's AI. He can't control it. He can't tell it what to do or say. I love it. Cheers to you. Oh, all right. So it's been 77 years since this march towards end times. These end times fascist morons that are all getting together because they want to see the end of the world, because that's how they're going to bring Jesus Christ back with Armageddon. And they're trying to march us there as quickly as they can, taking away all of our rights, trying to take away habeas corpus, which is the scariest shit ever, right? Destroying the Constitution, right? The most unpatriotic thing you could ever consider doing. Oh, it's so sad what we're seeing. Supposedly there's a proposal to Iran Of course, that's the other place where there could be a bombing campaign before you know it. Sounds like the administration is just itching to bomb Iran. They're like, oh, we gave them a proposal and they better act quick, right? If they don't, then bad things are going to happen, right? I think Trump said something almost exactly to that effect. So in addition to bombs raining down on Ukraine, bombs raining down on Gaza, ethnic cleansing, genocide in both places, Yemen being bombed now by Israel. They're taking the role away from us, but they just continue to do that. They're also bombing Syria and Lebanon as well. Americans and immigrants are being threatened with being deported to Africa, which is just super weird and inhumane, and a little bit of a surprising twist to all this inhumanity and cruelty that these traitors, these insurrectionist, racist, Nazi traitors are just who are on full display with their Zig Heils and their, how about, oh God, Kanye West has a song named Heil Hitler. Holy crap. Dedicated to Adolf Hitler. That is just crazy, absurd, weird, and disturbing. Very disturbing. What a strange ass world this is, where people think that's cool and what they need to do or want to do, or especially a black guy, man. These guys would exterminate him in a heartbeat. Oh man, 77 years since Israel began this Zionist, and there's Christian Zionists who are trying to bring us to the end of the world, and that's weird. Doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody want to do that? And what news has just happened that I forgot to mention? I don't know. Oh yeah, so I went to canoe practice, and that was liberating. Canoe practice is the greatest experience on this planet. It's the greatest sport in the world. If I ever become an elected somebody special, I will fight to make Hawaiian outrigger canoe paddling a freaking Olympic sport. It should be. There is no sport that perpetuates culture, that has a more interesting and dynamic playing field than the ocean, that has more of a it's so culturally rooted. The first people that ever came to Hawaii came in an outrigger canoe. It is a sport where you have to be completely humble and have humility, right? You don't speak, you just follow that, you obey that paddle in front of you. It's a rhythm that is a total meditation, right? It's a sport you get to do sitting down. And as an old man, you know, like I'm exhausting myself out there, and I might be a little dizzy, but it's okay because I'm sitting down. You can push yourself to dizziness, and you're just sitting down. And then you reach down, and there's the ocean, and a freaking turtle, and a dolphin, and a rainbow, and the mountains. And it is just the most beautiful sport. And then there's no sport where you can be on the same team as your granddaughter, great-granddaughter, right? There is no age limit. I think there's a 70 and over age group that you can race in, right? I think that's the newest age group. So always a new age group to look forward to, a beautiful sport, and it took me 23 years to get the courage, the chutzpah, whatever you want to call it, to go to a canoe practice, and that was awesome. So I should have gone again this morning, but I made excuses, like doing this show, being productive, doing other things, and recovering still because I'm pretty tore up from that one practice. But practice went good. Boat I was in was the best paddlers, but it was the fastest boat all day, which feels really good if you ever go through those practices. Back in the day, had this novice A crew we were Mount County champions, and in practice, we were always the fastest, and it just does, you always get the most time to rest in between sets if you get there first. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, life is good. So I'm gonna keep going to canoe practice. I might end up homeless pretty soon, and that's all right. Literally, oh man, canoe practice will make my life so good. God, the endorphins and the community. It's an environment where there happen to be, it's co-ed, so that's exciting. And yeah, it's just so many great things in one thing. And so now that I'm starting to do things, get things done, I'm starting to get things done. You know, it's that same old adage of, if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. Well, I haven't been busy getting much done. So I'm starting to get a lot of stuff done, and I think that's me pushing through the PTSD. Um, Hope to get this theater rented out soon for my first. And what's cool is this little theater, which is super cheap compared to all the other venues. Like $250 to rent the place on a Monday or Tuesday night or something like that. Like, that's cheap. But they have a videographer, a professional guy, and I think I'm just gonna pay that guy to give me a professional rendering of my little comedy show. It's gonna be like an hour, hour and a half, called Finding My Marbles, where I talk about any funny jokes and things that have happened like since the fire, and then a few funny jokes from right before the fire, and I'm gonna call them Finding My Marbles, and that's gonna be a good time. And then I'm gonna have that product, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be able to, like, I don't know, maybe market it, sell it, and it'll be the first of many, and it'll be done, like, even if I never repeat it. Maybe I'll do it again in that theater or other theaters. I'd love to sell out the Mac, but it would also be kind of nice because it's jokes all associated with the fire, essentially. I wouldn't mind leaving them behind because, got to move on. Cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's a goddamn good day to be alive, isn't it? I tell you what. I'm only having one beer, before I go to a beer fest. I'm going to give a little time, maybe swim a little. But yeah, the courage to finally go to canoe practice was really cool, and it went great. It's funny, I was most worried about injuring myself carrying the canoe and then just getting in, right? Because all the surfaces are hard, right? You got two hard, rails and then a hard seat, and I just plunked my butt in there and hoped I didn't bruise up too much. And then I didn't, not that we were doing that, but sometimes you can jump out of the canoe in and out and cool off. And there's no way I'm gonna try that for a while. I'm just gonna stay in my seat. And because I'm not sure if I can pull myself up into a canoe. Although I can swim well, which helps because you can swim up to it and get a little, push from the water up into it. But man, I mean, I have a body mass index of 33%, which is over obesity. So, but I'm on the cusp. Better to be on the cusp of obesity, I suppose, than anywhere else in the spectrum. So I'm hoping to get on the other side of the cusp of obesity and then keep working downward. Question is, if I get skinny, God, that'd be amazing. It's been a long time since I've been skinny, but canoe paddling can do it because it's just all, it works your whole torso from here to here, every muscle, and but it just tends to be great for the area where all your visceral fat is. It just pulls energy from your midsection over and over. Hey Frankie, aloha, love you, yeah. So that's a little bit funny, and good. What else? Oh man, and I'd love to, man. It would be a miracle season, right? If I got into a crew, and I can be a novice again, right? Which is called a novice B, and I think they've even reduced it from 4 to a 2-minute race. It's just gate to gate, 1/8 of a mile for first year paddlers. And that's what's great about this, right? If you live in the state of Hawaii and you don't know this, all the canoe clubs would love for you to show up because you are a novice B. And every canoe regatta, they would love to enter a boat in that with the chance of winning some points, right? It's a points race for a canoe club, and they want to fill every slot. There's 35 different categories to fill, from 10 and under boys and girls to 12 and under boys and girls to 14 to 70 and over, and first year, second and third year are another category, novice A. And so without knowing it, there's a big invitation for you there at all canoe clubs every year. They want someone who's never paddled to show up. And that's just a cool thing, right? A lot of people who move here maybe don't really get that. And it stands to be the greatest experience you'll ever have in your life in every way, socially, community-wise, physically, mentally. It's just, there's nothing like it on the planet. So and now it exists in so many places. It's in California. It's on the East Coast. It's in the Gulf. It's all over the world. Outrigger canoe clubs have spread. It's this great phenomenon. There's one on Donner Lake. I did a video from there that I think my friend Ron might have helped. The guy I paddled with, we were a novice 8 together. I think he helped found that one. They're San Francisco Outrigger in the Bay Area under the Golden Gate Bridge, SFO. There's all these Outrigger canoe clubs. There's one in New York City, and so, but it's just a great sport. So I can't say. Oh, and here's a great story about Chris Berman, the famous founder, one of the founders of ESPN, who occasionally does a little bit of work, who's had some tragedy losing his wife, etc. That guy came and sat at my table when I was working at Hula Grill. I waited on him, and he and his wife and kids, and I said, hey man, come to the beach tomorrow at 9 o'clock, right? Because we had a 7 o'clock practice. We're done at 9, and I knew there'd be bodies on the beach, and that's all I needed, right? And so he showed up with his wife and 2 kids, Chris Berman, everyone's favorite sportscaster, and I was like, hey, you, let's help these guys, let's get them out on the canoe. And so me and Spud and Joey Tejada and I think Joey Mateo, maybe, a couple guys from Napili, Spud, myself, we took Chris Berman's 2 kids out in an Outrigger canoe down to Ka'anapali Beach, down to Black Rock, jumped out, swam around. I think I did a flip off Black Rock. I finally figured out how to do that. And then, and I think the kids might have, I don't know what they did exactly. They maybe stayed in the canoe, maybe they got out. And then we paddled back and gave the kids back to their parents. They were like 11 and 13 at the time. I think they're now like 40-year-olds. And so they probably have full careers, almost fully, anyway. And he has a house here. And he and I have been friends a little bit ever since. It's kind of fun having a friendship with Chris Berman, right? I've been there when I was working the front door of the Ritz. He came up and saw me and said hello. And then he was telling his friend the whole story about, meet me and how we took his kids out. And it was cool. It was cool watching Chris Berman tell his friend a story about me. Anyway, the fun, it can be fun, when you're in service to others, and those people sometimes are famous for various reasons, and sometimes they're people that are likable and that you like. And he's a great tipper, tips 20+% all the time, always a great tipper and always gracious. Anybody that ever wants to talk to him or needs a picture, he's always polite and kind, like, unlike some rude, famous people who don't tip. Notably, who don't tip. Tiger Woods don't tip. But Charles Barkley has already told us all about that, right? I love it. It's so funny. Anyway, but that is class. If you don't know what class is one simple thing: generosity, right? If you have a tendency to want to, and it doesn't have to be money, right? If you're just generous with your heart, your love, your kindness, the things that you can help other people with, whatever that is. Sometimes it's money and resources, but that's class, right? When you go out and you leave a 25% tip, that's class. Whether you got good service or not, you leave a good tip, because you're a classy person, right? You're making a statement all the time about, I'm not a schmuck. So, and I got class. So when I go out, I tip well, because often the things that people complain about that they tip poorly on had nothing to do with the server, right? And so it goes. It's funny because I've been doing these live views of the ocean, and they're the most popular things I can do. It's so funny. I'm not nearly as popular. I'll never be as popular as the ocean, at least so far. And then if I sort of become homeless or whatever temporarily, I'll be out and about all the time. So I was thinking I'll just set up at a beach somewhere for like half a day, and you guys get a totally different view, of the ocean, which would be cool. uh, different views, different beaches with people on them. You know, they were always doing interesting things. That's the cool thing about watching people at the beach. It's never boring. Um, you know what I mean? So, oh, and then also I might go back to where I used to make videos swimming in Lahaina at 505 Front Street. If I'm over in that area, because I might be staying in the driveway where I used to live. It's cool because I might be homeless, but I'll be homeless at the address that's on my driver's license and that I'm going to live at again when it's rebuilt in 3 years. So, but we'll see if that comes to pass. I don't know. And then maybe that'll inspire me to do something interesting, like ride a bicycle across the United States or take another trip across the United States if I could afford it, and so on. And you never know what's around the corner. Now that my channel's monetized, I have had some interesting days. I think I had one day where I almost made $6 or something, maybe. Usually, I think I'm like an average of about $1.40 a day. That's what I'm making on my YouTube channel. This is blue collar YouTube. But yeah, what time is it? 41 minutes. See, so this is good because there's going to be a lot more news. And now that we've gone through all this weird bad news, yeah, so much bad news. I tell you what, so much harm being done. I just wonder how long it can continue before something changes. And then, of course, the big threat to Trump, which is now being voiced, if you haven't seen it, is people saying, oh, well, all we got to do is wait till 2026 because assuredly the elections will bring results that will give us a population in Congress that will bring us impeachment, like full-blown impeachment, right? So, of course, then that suggestion is going to mean that we can't have fair elections or can't have elections at all. So I'm sure Trump and the military and Stephen Miller are planning a way to completely subvert the elections, probably saying there's a national emergency that doesn't exist, just like Venezuela is not at war with us, you know, nor is Mexico, and so on. And yeah, this is not a lot of fun, huh? I tell you what, I'm sorry. We are in this together. Those of you. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say was I want to recommend everybody out there create their own news channel. Start putting your voice. Let's multiply this effort. I want to be one of just thousands of people giving their opinions, telling the truth. You know, millions of people, right? Doing the same kind of content, because it'll be a lot harder to stop all of us if it's infinitely a larger number of us. So if you're making other kinds of content, consider occasionally making some opinionated content supporting democracy and the rule of law and due process, the Constitution. For Christ's sake, is it so much to ask? No, I mean, not to make a channel, but just for people to want to be for that. Like, the fact that there's people that aren't for due process, the Constitution, rule of law. But man, all these bribes Trump is taking in the Middle East, his kids are taking. There's so much bribery on display in such massive amounts. And oh, the audacity of little Dick Johnson. He said, oh, that's what they call them, the Biden crime family. No. That's all projection. It is the crime family of all time is the Trump crime family. It is just the saddest shit ever. And people are laughing at him and horrified at the same time because somehow people were stupid enough to vote for that shit. They believe in every lie. All the Republicans do is lie, and there's still people dumb enough to believe them. But literally nothing will change their course. They're just determined to want to be a outlet for Russian propaganda, right? That's all the Republican Party is. An outlet for Russian propaganda is so weird. Nobody gets it. Everyone can see through it. I mean, if they have an IQ above Republican, of course. You got to have that. That's kind of important. Anyway, yeah, if there was a little bit of both sides in there, it'd be one thing. But yeah, there's nobody on the left that's trying to destroy democracy. That's shit all over the Constitution. That's violating people's due process, our habeas corpus rights. It is a nightmare, and they're going after the lawyers, the judges. They're firing everybody because they're in a wheelchair, because they're a woman, or because they're brown skin. Oh my God. And of course, Hawaii is very vulnerable because everyone's brown skin here. And there are many families with mixed immigration statuses from Philippines, Mexico, all over the country, Tonga, Samoa, although that's a territory, so I don't know how it all works, but it's all not good. None of this is good. These aren't the rapists. These aren't murderers. These aren't criminals. These are people doing 60-hour work weeks, cooking your food, washing your dishes, picking up your trash, freaking building your house, doing the concrete, doing the drywall, picking your blueberries, freaking milking your cows, making your cheese. You know who's doing that? Yeah, a lot of immigrants, hard workers, driving your Ubers. Why is it so hard to respect them during the pandemic? We respected the hell out of them. We respect them so much we forced them to go to work, even if it killed them, because they were so important. And now they are the gum on the bottom of our shoe that we want to throw away. I mean, it's just inhumane. And anybody with a heart, a soul, any morals, any ethics that isn't a fucking devil worshiper, a Luciferian, these white nationalist Luciferians, white anti-nationalists. Oh, so sad. They call themselves something different, but we know they pray to the devil. So sad. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go report on the beer fest because I met this cool woman who's a lead singer. It's funny, she liked my joke. She's revealed she's bisexual, and she's like, I was like, man, if all women were Marjorie Taylor Greene, I said I might just have to become a priest or go gay. And she said, yeah. She laughed real hard. And she said, yeah, I might have to go straight. I might have to not be bisexual anymore and only date men if all women were Marjorie Taylor Greene. Which was a great comeback, a great retort, I thought. Anyway, and how cute is that little Chihuahua on Will Trent? I do like that guy. I've been watching so much of him. I think some of his personality is rubbing off on me. Funny how that works. All right. And there's a whole bunch of other shitty news, and I'll be collecting. Oh, the stock market. I don't understand the stock market. It keeps vacillating in an area where it shouldn't be. Right? It hasn't really. And we just got our downgrade of our bond ratings. Moody's downgraded our ratings as a nation. So let's see how that ever gets priced into the stock market, if ever. It's weird. When the stock market goes up, it's because of market manipulation. When it goes down, it's because it should be. Right now, right? Anyway. Love you guys so much. Yeah, and then I'm going to try to make other kinds of content. I need to get out, do more stuff. But now that I'm doing stuff, I'm going to do more stuff. That's how it works. It's really simple. Once you start doing some stuff, you start doing other stuff. And then once you start doing other stuff, you start doing more stuff. And then pretty soon you're doing all the stuff you need to do. I'm on my way. And because basically, that's what PTSD does, sort of. It just interrupts you doing your stuff. It's a big interruption. Somehow you end up becoming less productive. And so it seems like that's changing, and that's good. And this channel is helping me. Making this video about the news every day, even though it's incredibly time consuming, but it's kind of what I was doing anyway, right? Watching all this news. And then putting it down here becomes one thing accomplished, right? Once it's done. And then I'm like, all right, let's go accomplish something else. And so even though it absorbs a lot of my time, it's contributing to me accomplishing a lot more other stuff. And that seems to be the way out of this, the mental doldrums that come from, whatever experience affects your brain and you know, makes you shell shocked, you know, which is none of it is as bad as war. Our freaking war heroes, holy shit, the shit they've dealt with is just, I can't imagine going through the Lahaina fire and have people shooting at me and bombing me at the same time. That'd be a whole nother level of terror and fear. So yeah, I could see how a soldier would be affected. Anyway, but not understand it at the same time. I mean, I can try to understand, but never really understand. All right, love you guys. I'm gonna start filming some other stuff. Walking down the beach. I need to film the scene at Canoe Beach without embarrassing or going too close to people. I suspect a lot of people are going to be more kind of on the private side. I don't want to, you know, force a camera onto my friends and family down at Canoe Beach, but I'll try to capture it in various ways that are as respectful as I can. Maybe get interviews with people. There's this one old friend of mine who's become a legend. I didn't realize. The greatest like canoe paddle maker in the world probably right now. Two of the things I lost were two paddles he made for me. One was one for my daughter that he gave me as a gift when she was born. That was just a tiny little canoe paddle. It was like 2.5 feet long. And then another one that he made, that like one that he used at the time, back in 2000. But now he's got this company, Pafamala, that is just world renowned, and everyone wants to paddle with his paddles. It's fascinating, and I haven't seen him in a while, but I mean we have a strong old bond connection. So I'd love to see, since he owns this company, you know, if I could, even though he's not the kind of guy that's going to want to bring attention to himself at all, but he is the coolest motherfucker on the planet also. So when I see him, if I'm at Canoe Beach, I'll end up running into him, and you know, I'm gonna ask him if I can interview him, because he'd be a cool interview. Coolest motherfucker I ever met. He once waited on Adam Sandler and all his friends when they were here making, you know, who were all David Spade, all his friends, when they were making a movie here 25 years ago, and they tipped him like, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000. Because they have class, you know, they can afford it, but also they have class. That's Adam Sandler. So that's a cool story. One of the many of Cameron Hakame, the founder and the owner of Pafamala Canoe Paddles. It's amazing. I'm the only guy at the beach doesn't have one of his paddles, pretty much. Anyway, it's kind of funny. So all right, and then yeah, man, I'd love to. I talked to Sonny Bradley, who is one of the few living legends, provided he's still alive. And he's an old guy, so, and I don't really keep that close to tabs on what's going on in the world. So, but Sonny Bradley has shaped every canoe in Hawaii for the last 50 years. And all the other race canoes, the fiberglass canoes, almost all of them are Bradley canoes, right? Which is cool, because that happens to be my last name. And I talked to him once on the phone, and he said he'd like to have a beer with me. And if I can succeed this season in paddling, get into a crew where we make it to States, he'll be there. I'll be able to make that connection. Maybe I can talk him into doing a podcast. That'd be pretty cool to interview Sonny Bradley. One of the there are some living, Nainoa Thompson, just a living legend. Archie Kalepa. There are living legends that it would just be cool. Snake, it would be cool to, from the Hokulea. Anyway, yeah. But this lady who is the singer of this band and her guitar player, they said they're going to do an interview with me, so that's cool. It's good for them. It's good for me. You know, even if it gets 100 views, whatever, man. It's all promotional stuff for them. It's free. It's fun for me, and I need to do more interviewing. And so it's all very positive. Even though I might become homeless soon, but that might be kind of good for me in a lot of ways. Other than comfort, it won't be good for me in the ways of comfort. But in all the other ways, I'll probably get in better shape. I'll make better videos, you know, etc. So, yeah, maybe I'll, like many of you have said, hey, come crash at my house. And so I might do that. Because that's one way to, you know, survive. I mean, yes, I can try to go to work, try to work all the time, save, Or I could also try to not spend anything, which is another tactic. I mean, I am making $1.40 a day from YouTube right now. That's 40 something dollars a month. It's pretty impressive. So, and yeah, once I turn on the bells and whistles, the memberships, maybe that'll help. Who knows? Whatever. It's neither here nor there. I got faith. Everything's gonna work out okay for you, for me. That's the main thing you gotta do is just have faith, right? And faith in the unknown, right, is the best thing I can equate with, like, actually having faith in. If there was a God, having faith in God would be having faith in the unknown, right? The next minute, the next hour, the next month, the next day, your community, your friends, your family, having faith in a positive outcome, right, seems to lead to it much of the time. I can only suspect that might be one of the contributing factors for what seems to be reoccurring good luck in my life that I can't explain, but it keeps going. So, and your support is one of those good luck factors, and doing this channel and feeling the community support, this is incredibly beneficial to my fractured brain. I didn't know this was going to happen and see it coming, but it sure seems to be a positive outcome. Like I said, when I was filling out that doctor thing, it was like, do you feel any of these things? How do you feel on a scale of this, that, and the other thing? And when I really got down to it, I mean, I could claim to be all fucked up. Maybe that'll benefit me someday in some court case if I claim to be fucked up and get proof from doctors, oh, he's really fucked up. But the truth is, all the support from you guys, in addition to other places, but from people I didn't, a community I didn't see coming, that has kept me, I don't feel isolated. I'm talking, even though I'm talking to a camera in this place, it's a whole lot of not feeling isolated at all, which is weird because I am sort of isolated, but I don't feel it. And then, of course, now I'm going to be socially immersed thanks to canoe paddling and working out and getting those freaking endorphin highs. If you don't know endorphin highs, they're a thing worth, pursuing. There are a few things on earth as good as an endorphin high. The only way to get it is to start working on your health by exercising to the point where you're pretty exhausted, and then your brain squeezes out this super juice, and it is like nothing else. So yeah, I got to experience that after my first canoe practice, which was completely exhausting. I could barely raise my arms afterwards, and everything hurts from my abs, shoulder, arms. It all hurts, but my back feels pretty good, and that's the main thing. Anyway, all right, I gotta shut up. I talk too much. 57 minutes. All right, almost an hour. Funny thing is, if I keep going, it seems like in about an hour 20, I really get a spike in views. Nevertheless, I'm obviously experimenting with AI images. I wonder if this evil image will have a negative impact or a positive impact, or if going vertical versus horizontal, same question. Who knows? Who knows? But consistency seems to be helpful. And of course, I don't do that, at least on a daily basis. I am at episode 52, but I mean, I should probably pick the same time every day or every other day and try to hit that mark. It'd probably be good for algorithms, pushing it around. But, what do I know? Anyway, and I should probably be on like 4 other platforms. But I'm still just here, only on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. That's free, as they say. And yeah, that's hella cool. I need likers and subscribers. We're going from 5,000 to 5 million because we need to influence the world to do no harm and do no crime, right? If you were going to be an influencer, wouldn't you want that to be your influence? Less crime, less harm. The superhero who stopped crime by tucking people out of it before they did it. Because, man, it can't, like, no place you can stick your penis is worth going to jail like P. Diddy is not having any fun. Man, oh, I hear he was addicted to opiates, too, so he had to withdraw from opiates and weed, and probably alcohol, and all that weird sex shit. But, yeah, like, no matter where you want to put your genitals, it's never worth prison, right? That should be a reason for stupid, weird men to stop themselves before they start, right? Just imagine the prison cell and then say to yourself, you know what? I think I'll just watch some porn instead. Which, in my yesterday's episode, of course, the Republicans are going after that. That's not good. That's what P. Diddy needed as a substitute. Or maybe a legal brothel, like go to Mustang Ranch. You know, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get a lot of really weird, gross news out of that. And who knows what other names are going to be flying out of all that discovery and the tapes that people are watching or going to watch or going to be exposed to or not. Will they be covered up, suppressed? I mean, there's billionaires, several of them probably, that have this vested interest in suppressing this case. So it's just a weird case, you know what I mean? It's got it's a little bit of Jeffrey Epstein-esque, you know, powerful people that stand to be exposed and all that stuff. Anyway, all right, so I'll be reporting on all this stuff. And you know what I was thinking, if you're like Tennessee Brando, because he was just talking about how, like, you know, every so often after a break, he's got to watch all the news and decide which program he's going to do something on. One, everybody picks one topic. I was thinking, well, if he just watched my channel, he could decide which from all the topics, because that's what I talk about, every single topic. And then he could decide, because, I mean, I'm obviously no threat. And if I wanted a lot of viewers, obviously that's what I got to start doing, right? One topic, one opinion, words on the screen, throw in some clip edits, and then I got a real bursting channel like all these nice boys, Adam Mockler and all the rest. God bless them all. Anyway, I like doing things my own way. So, love you guys. You know, do none of the things that'll screw your life up. Do the things that'll make it better. You know, exercise, eat right, sleep right. Don't drink, don't gamble or drink too much. A beer or two, it's okay. Don't gamble. Stay away from violent people. The wrong relationships. Don't snort nothing. Don't take pills. Wear condoms. You know, and your odds of survival in this world will, you know, go like that. You know, it's all about playing the odds in your favor. It's best you can do, right? So, and start voting for people that aren't racist Nazi traitors who thrive on the cruelty to others and thrive on seeing others in pain and incarcerated and objectified as inhuman. Anyway, love you guys so much. All right, I'm going to try to finally shut up now. Okay, 62 minutes. See, it just spiked to 14 players watching this, which is a lot of people compared to, you know, at the beginning. It was 0 for a while. All right, shoots. See, and up to 11. This is where the hubris comes in. You're like, oh, man, maybe I should just, you know, stay on a little longer and get some more viewers. Have a beer with you on a Saturday. Oh, let's pray that women, you know, grow out of this situation and learn, especially the dumb ones that voted, to lose their right to vote. That's the weirdest thing. Imagine, like, taking the action. I'm going to vote so that that's the most conflicting two things you could do in your life, is to actively go vote so that you could lose your right to vote when you just pursued your right to vote to do so. The whole thing is really, it's some low IQ stuff is what it is. So we gotta pray that enlightenment comes to these ladies. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because all we need is just a few more women to take America back, because they're the force that can't be. The majority of all the women, all the people with a college degree in our country are women now, and the majority of all the voters are women. If they could just vote together on behalf of themselves and each other and their girlfriends and their children and their daughters and their nieces and aunties, and it would be cool. And if men weren't so stupid to think that pro-death is, their whole pro-life is pro-death, it murders women. Time and time again, it's proven. That's why we granted women reproductive health care rights in the first place, because they were getting murdered. Black market abortions murder women. And if you don't understand economic supply and demand, you know, like I've said, you can have all the phones in the world, all the rotary phones in the world. Ain't nobody going to buy one, right? Not for $1, right? You could have 1 billion of them for sale. Rotary phones, no one wants one, right? You could have $300 billion. You could be Elon Musk and be willing to spend all of your money on a unicorn, but they don't exist, so you can't buy a unicorn, right? In order to have a market, you got to have a supply and a demand, right? And for reproductive health care, since the beginning of time, there's been a supply and a demand and a supply. Women have always needed it in one way or another, and that's been addressed over time by medicine and everybody else in the world, right? How to make it so women don't die. And turns out that's like the main way to do it, right? And so Republicans twist it around because everything they say is projection, it's a lie. And they say, oh, yeah, we're saving babies. No, you're killing women. They don't know babies are saved. Oh my God, yeah. And it's attack on poor women and women of color, and even more so, but it's ignorance on full display every time you hear those freaking lies. Everything's a lie. Biden's the crime family. No, Trump's the crime family. Oh, they took all that money, and Hunter Biden, who was never even in government, he took $50,000 a month. Trump just took $100 million from a grift from his meme coin. $100 million from a grift from one of his grifts. And there's 100 of them, right? Oh, but that's, we'll overlook that. It's just insane. It's insane. And anybody with an IQ above Republican is just laughing and knows what it means to be a real American. You ain't stupid enough to buy into any of that shit. Anyway, all right. Goddamn, I keep talking. All right. Love you guys so much. Okay. Till like tomorrow or whatever. And who knows. I'm really worried about getting booted out of here. It's coming. So anyway, love you guys. All right. Have a great day. Aloha. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching All Good Things and All Good Time. Aloha. Oh, and Tuesday night I'm going to start doing comedy again because school's over. And there's one place I think that does comedy on Tuesdays, open mic. So that'll be fun. I think I'll try to go live probably, and that'll be fun. And that'll be like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock here, which is, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours later there. All right. All right. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching All Good Things and All Good Time. Love you guys. Aloha. Pow, pow, pow.